The Word of God says, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from the wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and forgive their sins and heal their land. Father God, we come before you today. First of all, Father God, confessing our sins to you, realizing that you're the only one that can deliver us from this plague. We come to you, Father, because our land needs healing. Today, Lord, as our government is committed to contain this virus, we ask that you would give us your mercy. We plead for your grace upon our land. Deliver our people from this plague, Father God. Help us to be able to contain it so that our people will be free. Our nation will be free. Our land will be healed. Thank you, Father God, so much. And we claim your promise of healing. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today, we face an unprecedented public health crisis that will test our people and stretch our resources. History, however, has shown that the Filipino people have always overcome the challenges, confronting them with resolve and faith. As government mobilizes its resources and rallies the people in effort to prevent the spread of this disease, we urge President Rodrigo Roa Duterte to declare this coming Sunday, March 22, a National Day of Prayer to help unify the country in prayer and faith, and to inspire all of us to set aside our differences as we confront a disease that threatens us all. We here in Congress, as our speaker has mentioned, would like to meet one day and call upon the other religious leaders to come together, that we might be able to pray before Almighty God and seek His guidance and seek His will and ask for forgiveness and ask for His mercy for our beloved land. Also, we would like to request the Interagency Task Force to include the Greater Manila area, not just the Metro Manila, but the Greater Manila area like Cavite, like part of Rizal and part of Bulacan and part of Laguna, to declare that to be a community quarantine area. Thank you very much.
Magandang umaga po. Gusto lang namin ipaalam na kami po sa appropriations ay nakikipagpulong pa po kami sa mga ibang mga agencies para kung ano po yung mga kailangan nilang supplemental fund at paano pa po kami makakatulong sa funding sa kailangan nila. At asahan nyo po na kahit ngayong break kami po ay patuloy na papasok para makipagtulungan sa mga agencies. Good morning po.
Jeremiah 29:11 tells us that God has a plan for us, plans to prosper us and not to harm us, plans to give us hope in the future. Despite po yung pinagdadaanan natin ngayon, for the whole world, Metro Manila, buong Pilipinas, yung COVID-19 challenge, of course, Congressman Bumble Tolentino is representing then yung sa Southern Luzon, including Batangas, na tinamaan at nagsasuffer pa rin dun sa Taal explosion, mga kababayan natin na tinamaan ng Ursula, ng earthquake sa Mindanao, no? But it is our firm belief that God's promise stands and that whatever we are experiencing ay dulot din ng actions ng tao. So, what can we do now? Pangangalawahan ko po yung sinabi ni Minority Leader Bishop Abante, we should pray and humble ourselves before the Lord. Secondly, we should put action to our faith by doing the right things, making the right decisions in dealing with the present problems. So, yung unang apat, I'd like to discuss with you today 4 aspects that we have to deal with and in defeating COVID-19. Fear and psychological health, economic, at saka yung cooperation ng ating community. At the end of my opening statement, I'll also talk to you about the role of Congress during this time. Needless to say that we will take all precautions. We will follow the protocols of government. We seek to be an example. Kung makita niyo po yung social distancing. At salamat po sa mga house media. Alam ko po ang mga outlets niyo gusto kompleto at lahat nandito sa loob ng kwarto, but some are monitoring via the internet. No? So salamat sa inyong cooperation. Sa mga cameramen, thank you sa inyo. Alam kong ang anggulo ay napaka-importante, kaya usually kumpulan sa gitna. But we really have to set an example. That's why in all our meetings today at sa paggamit sa facilities sa Batasang Pambansa, we will follow the protocol, especially for social distancing. No? So mamaya we'll talk about the role of Congress. So let's start first with fear and yung psychological effect sa atin. No? Let me emphasize na number 1 na kalaban natin is panic. Okay, ulitin ko po yun. Next, yan. Panic is the enemy. So whether pupunta tayo ng grocery at may panic buying, o kaya may makapagsabi sa inyo na may kapitbahay kayo na positive, o kaya yung pupunta sa ospital at sabihin puno at hindi ka asikasuhin, lahat po yun can cause panic. There are reasons behind announcement. I know nakaka-cause ng fear yung projections ng WHO na binanggit sa news reports this morning, no? But you know, fear can be a friend. 'Di ba? Kasi pag may fear at nagpanic tayo o ma-paralyze tayo, kalaban natin ang fear. Pero if we can summon the right actions to address the fear, 'di ba? Then it can be something that can actually help us, no? So I'm not saying we should be fearful, I'm saying we should address yung fear and never panic, no? So it is the job of government to give you all the information that you need. I know sometimes conflicting. I don't think anyone in the world was ready for a worldwide pandemic of this magnitude. There will come a time for accountability kung sino nag-prepare at sinong hindi. But right now, let's focus on how we can help people, especially yung most vulnerable. Okay? So, Congress will help through the communications. So, we will be holding hearings, but it is not the usual hearings na napapanood nyo. It will be more roundtable style. We will only have 4, at most 5 members of Congress present. We will only have 1 department at a time. We will start with the Department of Health next Wednesday. The secretary will not bring more than 5 people. And I will ask the media to have the same arrangement. No? So that's isang kwarto na ganito that usually fits 150 to 200 people or 100 to 200 people. Will not have more than 30 to 40 people in the room at a time. The purpose of this is that sa press con, alam ko trabaho nyo to ask the questions, but minsan nagiging technical, legalistic, or parang napipin down in a sense na hindi na makapag-communicate yung mga members ng task force. So we're asking members of Congress to send to your committee chairman and to the minority, to the minority leader, Bishop Abante. For example, Congresswoman Janet Garin has a lot of suggestions and questions. So she can give it to the minority leader para ito i-advance natin kay Secretary Duque at sa kanyang team. No? The second aspect that I want to going pa dun sa fear, no, and sa don't panic, it's most important that we all understand why. Let us understand that this disease, this virus, ay sobrang nakakahawa. No? Sobra po itong nakakahawa. But let us also know that relatively maliit yung mortality rate niya. Ibig sabihin po, kung sasabihin 1 to 4% ito, I'll let the experts give you the exact figures, no? But of course, statistics don't represent people. So meaning, kahit isang tao na namatayan tayo, hindi lang tayo magluluksa, we will examine why this even happened, no? So having said that, it's important that they explain also the positive side and also the real facts. For example, nakita dun sa Italy, maraming 20 to 29 years old, malakas, walang symptoms, pero positive, so kinakalat yung disease. So it's very important that the public understand why we have community quarantine and why many people, including some members of the task force and Minority Leader Abante and myself, why we support the Greater Metro Manila quarantine. Let me explain that ng konti. No? 16 million ang daytime population ng Metro Manila. Ang nighttime population is 12 to 13 million. Ibig sabihin, there are 2 to 4 million Filipinos who come in and out of Metro Manila. So kung ang ano natin is to stop the disease from spreading, pero may 2 to 4 million ka na labas-pasok, mahirapan ka pa rin na i-minimize ang pag-spread. Pero we don't want to call off all economic activities, pati trabaho, because we don't want naman people dying of hunger or being economically destitute, no? But most, if not all of the workers who are coming into Metro Manila come from Calabarzon and Rizal and Laguna. So meaning kung yung community mo is Greater Metro Manila, less ang problema ng police dun sa 2 to 3 million na pumapasok araw-araw. Then maproprotektahan mo pa yung periphery ng Bulacan, Pampanga going north, at maproprotektahan mo yung Quezon. Last time I talked to Congressman JJ and to Deputy Speaker El Rey, zero pa daw sila sa Kamsur at saka sa Quezon. So we can also protect them, di ba? Pero kung Metro Manila lang ang iyong community quarantine, then they can go to Tagaytay, then they can go to Batangas, then they can go to Quezon and Bicol. Baka imbis na mapigilan yung bilis ng kalat, bumagal ang kalat sa Metro Manila, kumalat naman ng husto sa iba. So, dun po sa mga malaki ang sakripisyo, meron po talagang napakalaki yung sakripisyo. This is also for you and for your family, no? So, please help us not only understand but explain to people why it is happening. Because the more that we explain why, the more naman tutulong na lang yung community. So, pag sinabi mong curfew, meron ka agad reaction. Pero pag naintindihan nila bakit kailangan ng curfew, kasi nung nagte-tracing yung mga mayor, saan ba nakita yung paghawa? Sa gym, sa lamay, doon po sa restaurants na kinakainan. So we're trying very hard na to stop yung mabilis na pagkalat, pag-infect, no? So by knowing why, we can cooperate better. Congress will continue to function, but we will do so in a responsible and prudent manner. At the onset, please allow us to condole with the family and loved ones of our co-worker in Congress who have passed away recently from complications brought about by COVID-19. Having been admitted to the hospital for various ailments, he was part of the most vulnerable. as we've said already a lot of times, no, yung health experts have said, yung senior citizens at saka yung mas elderly at saka yung may underlying health conditions, yung taga dito po sa house, pabalik-balik na sa hospital before this. No? But over the weekend, nagkaroon tayo ng programa para ma-disinfect ang buong kongreso. Limited na po ang nakakapasok dito. No? We're asking media to put into context their reports. Yes, you have to report the increasing number, but if you can also report yung mga gumagaling o yung lumalakas, yung mga positive, yung mga how they're coping with hard economic times. Hindi po namin kayo tinuturuan kung paano mag-report, but sa totoo lang po, lahat ng nakakausap ko pag nanonood ng news, lalo pong naprapraning or nagtatanong kung time na ba to panic, no? So, definitely your reporting helps and definitely re-report nyo lang yung nilalabas ng gobyerno. But if we can all be more creative and dun sa mga nagpapa-interview to also not forget the good news, not forget the silver lining, not to forget to announce yung mga programa na ginagawa, no? Let's use social networks to reassure each other rather than to lambast each other, no? So, the second aspect I want to discuss is yung economic. Alam niyo naman ang power of the purse na sa Kongreso. So, maraming proposals ang mababasa niyo sa online, sa dyaryo, dinidiscuss sa TV. And we are for all of that. But we don't want to be a kind of Congress na lahat ng proposal binigay, hindi man feasible, hindi naman kayang gawin. O kaya lalong mapapasama kaso sa mapapabuti. So what Congress will do is will be meeting with the executive department and the private sector kung ano ang feasible talaga. So for example, sa malls, hindi tayo nakipag-meeting sa kanila. But I've talked to a mall owner and saying na if there are ways that he can help mitigate lower rent dun sa mga magsasara muna, kung kaya nilang bayaran pa rin yung mga empleyado nila kahit na no work, no pay. I support the Metro Manila mayors. My brother was very active in saying na sarado muna mga malls. The reason behind is because sa contact tracing nila, doon nila nakita na talagang mas mahirap i-control, no? Pagka nag-gather ang mga tao. So what Congress will be doing will be looking at existing programs. That's why Congressman Eric Yap, Chairman ng Committee on Appropriations, has committed na hindi siya alis, that he will help us every day study the budget, help them. So this morning we met with Secretary Bautista as an example. Inuna namin yung existing funds nila rather than proposing a supplemental budget, additional budget, augmentation sa existing muna. Can you put in the slide nung sa... So, for example po, no, ang isa namin napag-usapan, ang pinaka-vulnerable ay yung senior citizens. So, they're now putting together a senior citizen kit tulad po na napabigay ng City Government of Taguig, subject to the availability po ng items. No? So, sa Taguig, ang pinamigay, mga pamphlets para mabasa po ng mga senior citizen, lalo po dun sa mga hindi naman mahilig mag-cellphone na senior citizen, magbasa ng mga sa online. Kasama po dito face mask, yun po is subject to the availability. Two pieces ng sabon, and then kung available yung alcohol, and then yung vitamin C, no? So it's kausap ko si Secretary Duque sa phone yesterday. Sabi niya anything that can get up the immunity, panglaban din to. So yes, you can argue how many ba maproprotektahan natin sa senior? Is it 1 out of 100, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 100,000? I don't really care as long as there's one. If we can save one life, why not? No? So we've been discussing this with DSW this morning because there are better forms of vitamin C na may panglaban sa immunity, especially yung may zinc. No? So it's more expensive, but kung pwedeng ito ang maibigay natin sa senior citizen, tapos tinitingnan ng DSWD kung ano pang need nila at this point in time. So madaling sabihin sa senior citizen, wag muna kayo gumala, lola, wag muna kayo paikot-ikot, di ba? Pero, you know, they're still exposed, whether family members or whatever. So we have to take care of them. Secondly, yung streamlining ng assistance to individuals in crisis situation. So this was limited before to certain crises, no, na nangyayari sa buhay, yung mga naabuso, yung mga tinamaan ng bagyo, sunog. But right now, for example, sa transport sector, no, walang pasok, ang eskwelahan, ang gobyerno, work from home, maraming mga kumpanya, work from home din. So, nagsasuffer jeepney, tricycle, pedicab drivers natin, no? So, we discussed how we can get them some help. And sa number 3, makikita nyo, this includes financial and non-financial. And in this aspect, Congress will be working with them, but also with the LGUs. Ayaw natin na may gatherings, so hindi man pwede patawag, ibigay, kung bigas man yun o cash. But what we want to do is to be able to use the LGUs yung nagbabahay-bahay. But let me emphasize, ang pinaka-vulnerable dito, underlying health condition, yung senior citizen, at yung pinaka-vulnerable syempre, yung positive na sa COVID-19. So kung ikaw ay positive na, o yung symptoms mo papunta na doon, isolate yourself. Doon ka lang sa bahay. Lalo kung hindi grabe yung symptoms. Pag grabe na yung symptoms, of course, kailangan mo na sa ospital. Now, kung naka-isolate ka doon, breadwinner ka, paano na yon? So, we're asking DSWD to put a financial package. So, kung positive na, lalo kung, God forbid, tama yung WHO sa projection nila, pero pag umabot to ng 1,000 na, diba, hindi nakakayanin ng ospital yung lahat ng positive. So, of course, we'll be talking to DOH if they're also going to put temporary hospitals or yung mga komportable na tent city para dun sa may positive pero yung symptoms ay mild pa, no? But they need financial assistance kung ikukulong sila sa bahay. Kung hindi natin bibigyan at lalabas sila para humanap ng pagkain or gamot, we're endangering others, no? In fact, when we meet Dole, Deputy Speaker Villafuertes said nga, and my brother Lino was saying nga, cash for work. So sabi nung iba, anong work mo? Work mo is to stay home. So kung ikaw infected at positive, get a financial package, pero ang trabaho mo is to not be a danger to others and to take care of yourself and to get well, no? So sa economic po, we're looking at all departments yung existing nilang pondo, kung paano po ito makakatulong during this time, no? So meron pong within the day, babalikan kami ng DSWD at nire-ready na nila. We will make sure that strict procurement process is still followed. But naglabas na rin ng DBM, and I think COA knows this, dahil state of calamity, kung paano mapabilis ang procurement. Can you go to the announcement of Governor Joc, no? I'd like to thank the economic team, and I'd like to repeat, madaling magbigay ng example, madaling sabihin, wag muna yung sa mortgage, madaling sabihin lahat ng may utang, wag muna bayaran, madaling sabihin lahat ng utilities, kung pwedeng 60 days, wag bayaran, etc. Pero kailangan natin himayin yon. So rather than telling you all the proposals, medyo makapal yung proposals from different members of the House and our family members, we will submit this to the economic team. But in the meantime, yung mga lumalabas na o obvious, sasabihin namin. No? For example, even if I haven't told this personally pa kay Secretary Tugabe, no? Anyone na mag-expire yung driver's license during the community quarantine at saradong LTO, dapat naman i-consider to ng law enforcers na automatically extended kung 30 o 60 days, di ba? So kung March 17 yung driver's license, dapat naman pag nahuli yon o hiningi lisensya mo, i-consider nila yan ng April or June, di ba? Kasi paano naman niya i-renew during this time? Paano kung kabuhayan niya pagdadrive? Hindi naman siya pwedeng hindi mag-drive. So may mga obvious na sa kanilang conveniences. But yung hindi obvious na kailangan pag-aralan, so for example, I hear you, taxpayers who are saying, ma-move ang April 15, but we also know that pag hindi nakakolekta ang gobyerno ng buwis, hindi rin niya mababayaran yung mga programa na kailangan. So mayroong mga hindi obvious, meaning kailangan pag-usapan kung paano. So I asked my staff, and we can distribute sa media, to have a 2-page summary going to the next page. Nung nilabas na memorandum ng ating Bangko Sentral, and salamat kay Governor Jokno, basically saying na may relief na sa banking sector, and the banking sector can also go to them dun sa mga kliyente nila. Can you go? So, in layman's term po, no, wala dyan sa slide, pero pinagawa ko na lang po, no? Okay. Basically, they have room to adjust interest rates. Also, a moratorium sa pagbayad ng utang sa mga bangko para sa negosyanteng naapektuhan. So, sa ngayon, nasa mga bangko yan. But yung mga kliyente daw can go to the bank and tell them, hindi namin kaya magbayad, pwede bang 6 months o ganyan. And the banks will be the one to go to the Bangko Sentral to talk about nga paano yung interest rates, tanggalin yung penalty and everything. No charge muna sa InstaPay and PesoNet. Bangko Sentral wants to reiterate there is no threat to the peso. And doon sa mga nagnenegosyo, ang message ng economic team at Bangko Sentral, tutulungan sila. Tulong-tulong tayo makaahon. They want to reiterate that it is basically a public health issue. It's not a financial crisis. So, wag tayo magpanik, wag magpanik sa pag-withdraw, di ba? Alam mo, whether it's tissue paper or alcohol or yung pong pag-withdraw, wag po tayo magpanik kasi when we do that, that's where we create a mini crisis in that situation, no? But very sound ang ating ekonomiya, yun lang talaga may maapektuhan talaga. So some members of Congress like Stella Kimbo already studied a economic stimulus package. So yan ay medium at long term. Kailangan ng committee hearing at i-approve. So dito muna kami nagko-concentrate sa short term na pwede, di ba? So we will ask the chairman of the Committee on Banks and Financial Institutions to meet with the mga representative ng mga bangko and how to explain this to their clients better and how they can avail of it. But now, sa mga nakikinig na nanonood, si Governor Jokno mismo kausap ko at sabi niya, kung may kaanuman dahilan at hindi kayo makabayad, you are now in the capacity to tell your bank, hindi kami makabayad, we need help. And the banks will be the one to coordinate with BSP kung paano to gagawin. No? So, they will announce the further mechanics nito. So, of course, all the agencies na kailangan namin ng data, so kung pinaka-apektado ang tricycle, pedicab, at jeepney drivers, so LTO at LGUs, kailangan namin tulong nyo para yung mga listahan. In the past, may pantawid na programa ginawa nung tumaas yung mga presyo ng langis. So since we have that program and it's existing, if the money can be accessed, whether sa Calamity Fund or sa Quick Reaction Fund, katulad po sa city namin ngayon, pinapayagan yung tricycle na for public transport, pero isa lang pasahero sa loob, isa lang sa likod. Yung mga tricycle na back-to-back. So definitely, kahit sabihin mong una, kumonti na yung biyahe nila dahil wala na yung mga batang papasok at yung mga government na empleyado. So, kumonti na yung pasahero, tapos konti pa ang pwedeng isakay. So, definitely, any kind of financial aid that we can give to the tricycle drivers would be of big help. Ganun din sa jeep at bus, di ba? Dahil may social distancing na. No? So, the third one is health. So, sa health side, on Wednesday po, barring any urgent meeting na hindi makarating si Sec Duque, we will be discussing that with him. But let me just emphasize that the Philippine Congress, 18th Congress, House of the People, support community quarantine and urge people to do their patriotic duty and be responsible by abiding by the guidelines. We commend those cities and municipalities who have been proactive in dealing with the local communities. Best practices from Singapore, Macau, show the smallest populations are more manageable. We need to support these LGUs as as they share no, in the nation's burden. We will exercise oversight committees, but it will not be a confrontational type of hearing that we will do. And then Congress will continue to function, albeit with all the precautions, including social distancing. No? So, kung kailangan ng special session, kung magpapatawag ang Pangulo, we're talking to the majority leader kung pwedeng i-amend ang rules na ang speaker na lang at majority leader, minority leader na sa Congress, then ang botohan ay electronic and through Facebook transmission or media na lang yung discussions. No? If and when there are urgent bills na kailangan ipasa. But we are of the belief that at this point in time, kaya to executive orders or administrative orders and even the budget, start pa lang ng year. So whether using the budget that they have now or augmentation, pwede pa. But the Committee on Appropriations has already approved the budget, the supplemental budget for the DOH. So kung kinakailangan ito at kinakailangan mag-session, ready ang House of Representatives. So the last one is community cooperation to defeat COVID-19. House members will be working with the local government units and the private sector. Alam po namin maraming tatamaan po dito. At tinatamaan na. Pero tandaan po natin, kahit anong gawin ng gobyerno, or dito po sa Mega Metro Manila, or Greater Metro Manila, kung ang dalawang city maghihigpit, ang iba hindi, or kahit po sa community namin, kung lahat ng magkakapitbahay maghihigpit, susundin, pero isang grupo lang, magiinuman every night, magsasama-sama, magko-contact sports, uubo na hindi tinatakpan ang kanyang bibig, magkakaraoke na yung laway na pupunta dun sa mic and then magpapasahan, kakalat at kakalat po yung COVID-19. That's why it's a community effort. No? And since it's a community effort, nananawagan ang Kongreso sa lahat ng Pilipino that has extra ngayon, tumulong tayo dun sa wala. So if you say 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 15 Filipino families are well off, well, if you can adopt 9 to 14 families, then we should be okay. Meaning like in my household, kung bibili kaming isang buong manok na frozen, if we buy 15 instead and give 14 of our kapitbahays, or if we buy vitamin C para dun sa bahay namin and alcohol, but we buy 15 and give it away, no? Makakatulong tayo. So, dun sa mga first-class subdivisions na sa harap nyo may pila ng tricycle, naghihirap po sila. So, wala pong mawawala na patawag nyo yung presidente, mag-ambagan yung mga taga-subdivision at ibigay sa kanila. We don't know if this is 1 month, 6 months, or 1 year. Kasi worldwide pandemic to. We are praying that we beat the odds and we finish it earlier. But the earlier that we start helping each other and following the guidelines, the sooner we can get out of this problem. Let us help the very vulnerable. So, dun po sa iba na hindi makatigil magtrabaho dahil meron pong inaalagaan na may sakit or meron pong senior citizen. Kanina lang po, yung isa pong taga-DSWD, cancer survivor siya. Sabi ko, ma'am, sana hindi ka na pumunta dito at sana work from home ka. Sabi niya, sir, hindi pwede kasi ako taga-attend sa task force. So, sa lahat po, sa police, sa ating nurses, sa mga radiologists, sa mga doktor, mga barangay nutrition, yung mga nasa frontline, maraming salamat sa inyo at sana we can help more sa inyo. No? But this is what our people are facing right now. Pero kung halimbawa sa kumpanya nyo, sa opisina nyo, meron vulnerable at or kasama sa bahay na vulnerable at pwede nating suportahan na lang muna financially at doon na lang sa bahay, this can really help to save a life. Let me ask you directly, no? How many of you here do not want to save a life? Pag may nakita kayong nasa harap nyo at kina-heart attack at marunong kayo ng mag-respond to save, hindi nyo ba gagawin ito? So, right now, there are acts of kindness that can actually save lives. And we're asking you to do that. So, we're also asking critics to set aside politics muna yes, it's your right to give suggestions and to criticize, but pwede nyo naman i-channel diretso ito sa mga concern rather than ranting in our social media. So nagkakaroon lang ng misunderstanding at away in this time that hindi ito kailangan. We're also appealing to the task force to consider na i-convert muna yung 8888 to a COVID-19 hotline. Maraming suggestions na hotline, mga local government may hotline, ang DOH may hotline, pero hindi na kinakaya ng sistema sa dami ng tanong. And parang call center din yan o kaya yung computer na sasagot, di ba? Ang gusto ng tao may nakakausap diretso. May nabuo na ng expertise ang 888 sa pagbigay sa mga departamento. So baka pwedeng, kung hindi urgent yung complaints, wag muna tayo mag-complain sa 888 at kung pwede nga orderan ng ating Pangulo na anything regarding COVID-19, even po yung loss of jobs, hindi makapasok ng Metro Manila, mga LGU na nagtatanong sa bidding process, sa procurement process, let's use that muna kasi existing na yung hotline na yon, no? And last point is communication, sorry. So, but very short lang naman to. We will use Congress to give the task force, the LGUs, an opportunity to talk directly to our people and to the House media. So, sa lahat ng iba, press con pa rin or meetings and then question and answer. Pwede pa rin naman kayo magtanong sa media, mag-ambush interview. Pero ang gagawin namin dito sa non-confrontational type of hearing para yung kailangan nila sabihin ay masabi, no? So, medyo makapal po yung ibang mga suggestions. Hindi ko na isa-isahin, but as I said, we will forward it and we will be discussing it in the next few days. So this week, nakaschedule private meeting with the DBM and then a meeting with the Health Secretary on Wednesday. Secretary Bautista will also update us sa task force. Then we'll be asking Secretary Anyo if he thinks it's also helpful to have also one hearing. No? So we're open for questions, and then at the end of this discussion, Deputy Speaker Villaferte will just sum up yung mga napag-usapan natin.
Sir, si Congressman Sulceda, may recommendation siya na i-adjust po yung deadline ng filing ng ITR, sirs, from April 15 to May 4. Ano po, sir, stand ng House leadership na, sir?
Well, I think the economic team is already studying it. And even sa akin, yung mga businessmen sa Taguig nagtatanong, ang problema kasi pag hindi pumasok agad yung pera, kailangan din ng pera ng gobyerno to address this. But ang problema naman kung hanggang April...
May 15.
No, di ba yung community quarantine natin now is until April 12. So assuming April 13 pa lang babalik yung mga taga-BIR, baka magkaroon ng ano doon. But I will make a fearless forecast. They will not move it yet para magbayad yung pwede magbayad on time and online. But if hindi talaga kakayanin ng lahat, they'll probably give a grace period. But if they announce it now, ang ugali ng Pilipino, hihintayin yung last day bago magbayad.
Sir, may pang suggestion si Congressman Salceda na kung di man ma-adjust, i-waive na lang yung penalties until yung mga magbabayad until May 4.
Yes. As I said, no, we'll defer to the economic team on that. I don't think any legislator will say no. But we also have to be responsible. Kung kumulang ang cash ng gobyerno at kailangan mo ng pambili ng protective gear, ng gamot, etc., saan mo kukunin ang pera? Even loans now cannot be processed that fast. Of course, nagpapasalamat tayo ADB at lahat ng ibang bangko na nagpapautang na for COVID-19, di ba? But the government needs money to run it. No? But definitely, yung mga penalties, for example, yun nga, kung late yung ibang mga lisensya. Diba? So, for example now, kung ikaw ay nagdi-deliver ng payroll at may permit to carry ka, paano kung today siya nag-expire? I think PNP should say na it's automatically renewed or valid pa rin for the next 60 days to give you time to renew it unless open yung opisina nila for renewal.
Sir, good morning, sir. Sir, yung social distancing kasi as we observe, hindi pa rin talaga strictly implemented or being followed. Is it, will you support any declaration for a total lockdown just to address the situation?
Yung total lockdown, may mga conditions to do that. Secondly, dapat ready na tayo to carry it out. Meaning, yung supply ng pagkain, ng gamot, yung communications are in place. So right now, I'm very supportive na gawing Metro Manila na yung, or Greater Metro Manila yung community quarantine. And every day to be a little bit more strict. No? So like right now, bukas pa rin yung mga restaurants, mga 7-Eleven, etc. Because nga, may mga nagtatrabaho pa rin, baka wala silang makainan. No? But malls, marami nang nagsa-sign off muna, no? Ng temporary closure. So, ang nakita ko sa pag-monitor this morning, yung sakayan, doon walang social distancing kasi nga, kukunti yung public transport at may kaguluhan pa. So, I think kailangan ng monitors doon. Kahit naman dito, no, very strict ang sinabi ko na walang kumpulan ng tao. But we have to keep repeating it. Kanina, nagpa-picture kami ni Sec Rolly. Even before kami mag-post, everyone 1 meter apart. So, I think it's culture, no? I was watching yung isang senador ng Italy was saying na hirap na hirap sila kasi sa kultura nila, touching and being friendly is part of the culture. But no choice sila but to change habits. So in that sense, nagpapasalamat ako sa lahat ng imam, pastor, ministro, mga bishops ng Catholic Church na ginagawa ng online or radio o TV yung misa. Kasi sa atin naman, nasa kultura talaga na magsimba o magsamba. So talagang malaking sakripisyo sa Pilipino not to congregate and worship God together. But I think, di ba, sabi naman sa Bible, do not put your Lord God in a foolish test. Di ba? So, you know, it's kung alam natin na severely nakakahawa and mas mabilis nakakahawa when we congregate, no? So, itong nakita ko nagko-congregate sa paradahan because they have to make a living. Di ba? Kailangan nila makarating sa pupuntahan nila. So, if magwa 1 meter apart, nasa dulo ka na, ikaw ang hindi makakasakay. So I think, you know, MMDA at saka PNP, itong isang adjustment na gagawin. Tandaan niyo po, first weekday to, ha? So kung may mga adjustments, it will be done. But I'm hoping Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, bantayan yung nangyayari sa Metro Manila so that you can learn from our mistakes and then make the adjustments. Diba?
Sir?
Yes.
May nagpapatanong lang po muna isa. Plan daw po ng DOTR yung magpatupad ng total ban sa public transport. Kasi marami daw po matigas yung ulo. So will you support that? And then yung isa ko pong question din is, kamusta na po yung mga members natin who undergone self-quarantine po?
Unahin ko yung sa self-quarantine, no? So far, wala naman nagkaka-symptoms dun sa self-quarantine. I know yung isa na nasa basketball group nagpo-post that bakit siya nag-self-quarantine but is okay. No, but as you know, may nag-pass away na dito nagtatrabaho sa house, no, at pabalik-balik siya sa ospital, and it's only yung last na balik niya nung naging COVID-19 na, kasi before that it was other underlying health conditions, no. So to your question, even in Italy, ang trains nila are still operational. So medyo unique sa Pilipinas kasi ang ating public transport siksikan. So ang tricycle at saka ang jeep, katulad sa jeep, no, pinapasa natin yung pambayad. So if you touch your mouth or nose or nasingahan mo yung sneeze ka dun sa piso, naabot mo and everything, no? And then sa tricycle, di ba, usually isa o dalawa sa likod ng driver, tapos sa likod ng tricycle, dalawa, sa loob, dalawa. So medyo unique eh. So we actually have the numbers of the number of jeepney and tricycle. So if it's 30 days and we can compensate them, kahit just enough for them to continue existing, di ba? Now, having said that, hindi pwedeng zero public transportation para dun sa mga kailangan magtrabaho. So for example, paano kung health worker ka sa hospital, let's say sa PGH, sa RITM, sa lung center, and wala ka naman sariling kotse o motor, di ba? So these are things na siguro kailangan discuss ng DOTR. But to be able to solve that, it's not only the supply side or the demand side. It has to be both. So as soon as people realize that it's better to stay home, the less stress it will have on everything, including the public transportation system.
Sir, reaction lang dun sa post ni Congressman Jericho Nograles na meron daw PUI or PUM dito sa House, and he's asking for transparency.
There's full transparency. I don't really understand what transparency is asking for unless he's not a member of the majority group. Because from the start, any rumor that nagpo-post kami, if he's asking for the name, then buksan niya TV niya kasi lahat hindi nire-release yung name for privacy issues. But I saw myself the memo ng SecGen nung naglinis over the weekend. I saw yung mga vulnerable work at home na, yung mga malalakas pero meron vulnerable sa bahay na rin. And even us, actually, siguro at least 4 to 5 more congressmen wanted to come. But we told them if you come with one staff and one driver, then that's another 12 people. So we asked them not to come anymore, no? So in case we have to do some tracing at kung sinong halimbawa kinamayan o nandun, we will tell that person, but we will not tell everybody because that will just create panic, no? So I think na nami-mistake ni Congressman Nograles yung transparency for protocol. There is a protocol how to do it. So nung may nag-positive, we traced sinong mga opisina ang pumunta dun sa opisina niya, sinong may close contact, etc. And we asked them to self-quarantine. Yes.
May balak daw yung House to create a special committee.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. There's one slide. Sorry, napakalabo. But baka pwede mo na lang lakihan yung slide na yun. Ito. We want to put up rather than all committees functioning at the same time at hindi namin ma-manage ang tao dito, and rather than what you call this, yung very confrontational, we want to put up a Defeat COVID-19 Committee, DCC. And it will serve as both an advisory committee sa task force, but it will also serve as a coordinating committee. So initially, ang ating isasama, Committee on Health, Committee on Economic Affairs, Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industry, Labor and Employment, Banks and Financial Intermediaries, Public Information, Appropriations, Ways and Means, Local Government, Metro Manila Development, and later on, di ba, the other blocks pagka kailangan. And then representatives of the most vulnerable, PWDs, senior citizen, majority leader, minority leader, deputy speaker for finance, and the speaker of the House. I'm asking Deputy Speaker El Rey to fix this. So kung pwedeng most of our meetings are teleconference or sending documents to each other. Kasi for example, no, yung sa banks, if they have to meet the Bangko Sentral and the Banking Association, hindi kailangan na 10 congressman nandun. Diba? I-limit na lang natin. but ibibigay ng committee both the recommendations at saka yung questions. So we'll be continuing to function, but we will adapt to the call of this time to be more prudent.
Who will lead, sir? Kayo po ba yung...
Yes. I'll supervise, but meaning if it's a health concern, the Committee on Health will take the lead. If it's a concern sa economy, then Ways and Means, Economic Affairs, and Appropriations. So it won't be a hierarchical type of committee na may chairman. No, it's more of a coordinating committee.
Sir, sa ibang matters, sir, yung decision ng PAGCOR, sir, na isuspend lahat ng operations nila except sa Pogo, sir. Ano po comment nito, sir? But
I'd rather they explain it, but my understanding is that ang Pogo kasi, yung mga empleyado lang nila. Kasi online yung mga naglalaro. Pero dun kasi sa mga casinos, physically pumupunta ka dun eh. So easier to spread. Kasi if you're going to stop the online, the pati call centers, pauwi na natin lahat. That's my understanding. But by the way, I'm against Pogos in general.
Like kanina, sir, papunta ako dito, daan ako ng Makapagal. Yung mga grupo ng mga Chinese mainlanders, nakalat-kalat sa Makapagal area, sir. So,
well, what about yung nagkalat ng call center employees na katabi din nila? So, hindi tayo pwede mag-discriminate eh. You know, hindi lang Chinese ang pwedeng and it's not a Chinese disease, it's a worldwide disease. So, there's a lot of bad things about Pogo, which I agree. But it's basically a BPO. No, it's basically an online where people around the world, basically from China, can gamble. Ulitin ko I'm against it. Pareho kami ni Bishop Abante na dapat isara. Having said that, our constitution, kailangan equal ang treatment. So kung isasara mo sila, you cannot close them down for COVID-19 because they're Chinese. Diba? So if there is a Korean call center or Indian call center, we cannot close them down because they're Korean, etc. Having said that, I know you're just asking because yan ang tanong ng mga tao. And sabi nga ng iba, baka doon nang galing, etc. But remember, many of them have been here, hindi na bumalik and everything. No? So under monitoring lahat yan. But yun ang understanding ko. No? Now, if there is interaction or they are causing gatherings, that's a different issue. Na hindi dapat PAGCOR ang yung interagency na. Diba? So like, nung nagsimula ang call center sa ating bansa, I remember, hindi nagsimula, nung lumalaki, 2013 election may interview ako sa Inquirer.net. 30 minutes ako naghintay sa elevator dun sa, not sure if it was the RCBC building. Because during those days, hindi ganun karami ang elevator dun sa mga biglang na call center. So like right now, if there are situations like that, kailangan whether it's the building administrator or whoever addresses that. Kasi hindi kayo pwedeng mag-elevator tapos walang social distancing, tapos pagbaba nyo ng elevator, may social distancing. Pwedeng magkahawaan na dun sa loob ng elevator.
Thank you po.
Speaker, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, tanong ko lang, yung possibility ko ba ng special session, were you able to talk to the President? Yung necessity nito, next week, 2 weeks from now, yung possibility po?
I'm 100% sure na pag necessary na, hindi magdadalawang isip ang Pangulo to call it. But I think right now, it's basically, using the funds that are available and using existing laws. So even yung declaration niya of national health emergency, yung DBM na nilabas na issuance about procurement, yung nilabas ng Bangko Sentral, these are all with existing laws. So unless meron tayong kailangan ipasa o i-amend, hindi rin prudent na ang House ay mag-convene. And if ever we are called to a special session, which we're willing to do, we have to do it creatively. Kasi if you have 300 members and each one has one staff, each one has one driver, 900 na kami. Pwera pa yung staff sa floor, no? So, it won't be a good example to tell people don't congregate in more than 1, 2, 300 people, and then dito sa Kongreso, ganun karami ang tao, no? So, to answer your question nga, Ryan, wala pang communication sa amin. I'm not in touch directly to the President in a daily basis, but through ES, the economic team, and others. And of course, if there's urgent message through Senator Bongo, pinapadala naman namin, or nagpapadala ng message sa akin kung may kailangan sila. So I think right now, ang stand ng Kabinete at Task Force, more of administrative ang approach nila, hindi pa through legislation.
Sir, yung existing funds po natin sa mga frontline agencies, would it be enough, sir, dun sa needs?
As of today, I would say yes, but that is part of our question. So, dun mga nag-raise ng donations para sa mga ospital, isang tanong namin kay Sec Duque yun sa Wednesday, is it a supply or is it a supply problem or a budget problem? Because if it's a budget problem, hindi dapat. Diba? Dapat yan kumpleto sa budget, even sa pagkain. Like sa pagkain. Pag sinabi walang pagkain, baka walang allotment yung MOU nila at dapat dagdagan yon. Kasi hindi mo na nga pinapauwi yung mga tao, sinasabi mong wag silang lumabas din, then expose din sila sa ibang medical condition, kailangan may pagkain. Pero for example, yung gloves at saka yung protective gear, yung mask, we're getting conflicting reports. Some are saying, meron mabibili, pero walang pambili. Some are saying, hindi, may pambili sila, pero may supply problem. So we want the DOH to be able to answer that. So anything that's a budget problem, Congress will help and look into it. But if it's a supply problem, then the executive has to find a way to address that, no? Meaning alternative suppliers, or do we ask the manufacturers to stop manufacturing some of their products and do something else, no? I was watching CNN and BBC, no, and they were saying na this is the 2020 na ngayon. Very agile ang maraming manufacturers. So let's say mga pharma, they can stop making one drug and start making another. Or kung more alcohol ang kailangan, they're quite fast, di ba? So, sabi nila, ang importante, hindi mag-panic buying. Kasi pag may magsabi lang, kulang ng ganitong gamot, everyone wants to buy ganung gamot for 10 people. Kung 10 naman kayo sa bahay, unless infected kayo pare-pareho at pare-pareho may symptoms, you don't all need that kind of medicine at the same time. So yung personal action natin at community cooperation is still the key to all of this. But the fund should be okay. You know, we extended 2019 budget and then we have the 2020 budget. So pati yung augmentation nun pwedeng gawin. You know, it's only March, so it should be there. Baka yung iba are trying to be prudent kasi usually ang quarterly nilalagay. But like when talking to the DSWD kanina, sabi nung finance nila, hindi sir, we'll be prudent pero we have to act para walang tomorrow. Kasi kung anin mo ang damo, kung patay na ang kabayo. Diba? So I think, you know, it's really the adjustment to the state of calamity and state of national emergency, mga guidelines. Pero I think prime na yung mga agencies ngayon to use these specialized guidelines to be able to deliver right away. So meaning the same question that we asked them 2 weeks ago, yung tulong sa senior citizen, may sagot na sila ngayon at mas mabilis na. Hindi na no ang sagot nila. Nung una marami pa ang tanong, may reseta ba yan? Paano yung ganito? Kung bibilin namin yan, 1 month pa. Pero ngayon, a lot of things have changed over the last few days.
So, good afternoon. Yung proposal po na i-extend yung community quarantine sa Greater Metro Manila area. Paki-explain.
Bakit tayo nagko-community quarantine? Para hindi kumalat ng mabilis. At para maprotektahan sa mga area na wala pa. Okay? Or kokonti pa. So, ang daytime population ng Metro Manila is between 15 to 17 million, depende kung sino kausap mo. Meaning daytime, residents at nagtatrabaho dito. Ang nighttime population natin is between 12 to 13 million. So meaning at any point in time, 2 to 4 million ang lumalabas-pasok sa Metro Manila. Okay? 90, 95, 99% ng lumalabas-pasok ng Metro Manila ay taga Rizal, Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna. So kung i-include mo na sila, no, sa quarantine, less ang stress sa police at sa militar, and then hindi na sila maglalabas-pasok sa same area. Mas maproprotektahan mo ngayon yung Quezon papuntang Bicol at yung Pampanga or yung mga part ng Bulacan na hindi mo kailangan isama. So any quarantine that we do, may maabala. Any lockdown, quarantine, may maabala. Pero tingin ko less abala to everyone if you do it that way. Kasi kung papayagan mo rin naman yung 2 to 4 million na nagtatrabaho dito to go in and out, expose din yung lugar nila. So might as well, have a better boundary that will give you better results. Again, no, that's my thinking, that's a thinking of many members of Congress, pero mas may data yung task force. But I heard that some members of the task force, yun din ang tingin nila. And I think less yung economic disruption. I think one reason na the smaller area the better para less economic disruption. But ang Mega Manila functions as one. So actually by cutting off Bulacan, Rizal, Cavite, Laguna from Metro Manila actually creates more problem. But pag sinama mo sila, I think they'll have better and of course they can continue to the local governments in that area can continue to decide on many matters. Thank you very much, everyone. Keep safe. God bless you. See you on Wednesday. Before that, i-wrap up lang ni Deputy Speaker El Rey and kung meron man announcement si Congressman Bambon.
Thank you. Basically, just to recap, just to reiterate, Congress under the leadership of Speaker Alan is here to address urgent and prevailing concerns regarding the crisis. Congress and its members will lead by example in exercising safety protocols, social distancing, etc. Congress will be proactive in working closely with the executive branch and LGUs in the various affected sectors. Congress, of course, will make sure that various programs coming from various departments will be fully utilized, such as yung mga job-generating efforts ng programs ng gobyerno, DSWD, and if needed, we are here to act if funds are needed. As mentioned by our speaker, we've created a committee. It's called the DCC, Defeat COVID Committee. We will strictly follow social distancing and other protocols in conducting this committee, such as online, teleconferencing, digital communications, etc. So again, I hope everybody will not panic. We can fight this crisis, this virus together through discipline, obedience, and cooperation. Thank you. Magandang hapon sa inyo.
Wala naman, Speaker, yun lang some minor adjustment ng salaries ng House. It will be directly deposited to land bank.